YouTube, Mark Kaufman here, and today we are going to be restoring the Victorinox Fisherman from the early 80s. And I have to say I went the full 9 yards on this one, so bear with me on this restoration video. This is going to be just a little bit of a longer one than usual, but without further ado, let's get right on into it. Okay, so here we start with the restoration, but first off, you may notice that I have another machine here. This is a higher powered polishing machine, and this was only possible through donations from you guys. So if you ever want to donate, my email is practically my PayPal, so whenever you want, you can just send some money over there, and it allows me to make better restoration videos and better videos overall. So this polishing compound I'm using, I usually use on watches, but it really works very well for stainless steel knives and Victorinox steel. And Victorinox steel polishes up very, very well, and I believe the overall product and outcome is fantastic. So this product is called Polywatch. I use it to polish plexiglass or Hesalite crystals off of watches, but it does a very good job taking care of Victorinox scales or even Wenger scales. And it will polish up any kind of plastic really, but it will not get rid of major scratches. But I've already done that on the polishing wheel beforehand, I just didn't take a video of it. But the outcome that it gives you is a very good sheen and a great polish, but it will not remove major scratches, so keep that in mind. So the next step is going to be sharpening up both of the blades. I'm going to be using my Lansky sharpener. I really didn't feel like sharpening this freehand, not only because I didn't want to scratch up the blade or make a mistake, but this is just easy. Victorinox steel is very easy to sharpen, and these sharpen up very quickly, especially with the Lansky 120 grit stone. And this is usually as far as I take it. So for me, this does a great job, and I'm able to shave hair off my arm if I do a really good job on this edge. Now, the small blade definitely is tight quarters, but I was able to get it sharpened up, and it's able to shave hair off my arm, no problem. So this segment here is actually the longest segment in the repair. Of course, it didn't take the longest time. It's just I was a little confused on the orientation of the scissors once I got them disassembled. But I really wanted to get these things cleaned, and I wanted to get them oiled properly. But I also wanted to get some Loctite into this screw cavity, because personally, I really don't know if Victorinox makes these screws anymore. And if I had to go and find spare parts for this pair of scissors, I think that would probably, it might be really difficult. So for me, getting a little bit of Loctite in this cavity where this screw goes was very important. Now, this small little device here is actually a watch oil holder, and this one probably dates back to the 1950s, but it makes a great basin to hold some Loctite. And what I ended up doing is I took the Loctite and I poured it into this basin, and I used a watchmaking oiler or a watchmaker's oiler. And this isn't the most expensive oiler that I have, but it definitely does the job. Now, the thing that this oiler allows me to do is to locate or at least place a small amount of Loctite in a very small cavity. And what this enabled me to do is get the exact amount of Loctite that I wanted, because I really don't want any of that in between the scissor blades, because it might gunk up the works or at least impede the oil's ability to rub between the blades and make these scissors operate more smoothly. So after I got these assembled, I tested them and tried to get them tightened up. I had a piece of paper off to the side and I was testing these, and I have to say the screw, when you tighten it, it is let's say a little bit tricky. It will actually fight back. These scissors are created and built very, very well, and they are put together in very tight tolerances. So please, when you are actually screwing these back together, do not, and I repeat, do not use a lot of force. You will strip this screw very quickly and very easily. Now, at this point, I'm actually trying to find something that I can prop these scissors up on top, because I have to make a little bit of distance for the handle and then get the scissors flat. Now, we're not all perfect. I actually got the orientation wrong, and you can see that I was thinking, okay, the scissors are this way. No, it is actually the other way. So keep in mind where the blades are going and how this thing is put back together, because it will save you some time. Luckily, I figured out my issue early on, and I didn't get this all tightened up in the Loctite didn't seal itself and tighten up before I realized the problem. So just keep in mind that you need to not strip this screw, because you might not be able to find another. And when you're tightening it, the screw actually will fight back a little bit. The tolerances are so precise. And here it is, you guys. I feel like it came out pretty good. I didn't go all the way with it. I definitely could get these scales to look a little bit better. I apologize, they're still kind of covered in oil. I have oiled this, so yeah, the scales were in a little bit of a rough shape. There's some scuffs, there's some marks, but I have to say all the tools are looking really, really good. The knife blades are all sharpened up and they are very uniform. No dents, no dings, no bends, and the blade closes as it should. I really wasn't able to get this back blade to snap. I don't know what's going on with that. What I actually think may have happened is that sometime in the life of this knife, somebody used this as a very heavy pry bar and may have bent some of this or maybe compressed it just a little bit. And because of that, it just caused all of this to be kind of grimy and everything, but it actually does kind of snap back and snap close. So I expect that to get better with over time. The scissors are now snappy and they close and open. I did add a little bit of Loctite. As you could see, that was a little bit tricky because I had the phone real close to the knife. I was trying to get this oriented, but I was also trying to hold the knife, screw the screw in. I mean, it was a little bit of a trick, but I have to say it came out pretty darn good. I have yet to sharpen these, but you can see there they snap closed and they snap open. So much better action there. The fish scaler, I really didn't do much to that. I just gave it a light polish, and yeah, I don't expect to use that too much, but it's got its snap back. Now, the other tool that doesn't have much snap is the cap lifter, and you can see that it still has a lot of mineral oil in there. I really packed this thing full of oil just to try to get that loosened up, and it just really didn't do anything. The can opener, yeah, it snaps closed as it should, and then the reamer in the back, it snaps closed as it should. And then I actually was able to get this screwdriver, this Phillips screwdriver, really cleaned up. It really looks good. And you can see here, I actually got that, let me see here, this turnkey here cleaned out really, really well. So you can actually see how far down that went. But Victorinox quickly got rid of this, primarily because there really wasn't turnkey cans anymore. A new system came out, and also I feel like that would probably weaken the screwdriver if you put enough torque on it. Now in the back here, I did polish that. That looks really good, came out good. Polishing up here came out good. You can see there's a little bit of pitting in the aluminum. It's not a big deal. This one will probably be one that I carry. It's just not perfect enough. As I went through this cleaning and everything, I just decided it's just not clean enough for me to be a safe queen. So for me, I'm probably going to carry this one. Will I use the fish scaler? Not really. This is really just a glorified super tinker with a fish scaler, so I may not get too much use out of it. But when I'm feeling nostalgic and wanting a different type of Phillips head, I might carry this. Now, I didn't have any spare tweezers laying around. I did actually have one, and I threw that into the Explorer. I'm not going to be carrying this one as much as I probably will be carrying the Explorer. And this Explorer actually really didn't need as much work as this did. So for me, I just oiled this up and I'm just going to throw it in the pocket. This is going to be a carry. It's going to be a user. I know it's a little bit older. It's probably, I can't remember if I mentioned in my video what age it was, but I'm going to guess it's probably early 90s because it's got the hook in the back. But this one will be definitely one that I throw in my pocket. This one will be when I want to feel nostalgic, carry something a little older. It's not like I'm carrying a 50-year-old sack, but it's going to be something that I can sit here and be like, yeah, this is a little bit different. So I hope you guys enjoyed this restoration video. I know it went on for a little bit longer than usual, but there is a lot more steps involved in this and it just needed a lot more work. So thank you guys again for joining me on my channel and watching this restoration. If you liked it, hit that like button, and if you're not already, subscribe to my channel. I'd love to have you along for the ride. Till the next one, I'll talk to you later.